After the past few years of speculation and discussion, we now know the reality is the Chargers are in Los Angeles. They've made it to their new home. After over 5 decades of being in San Diego, they said, goodbye, good luck, too bad, so sad. We're going to the second biggest market in the country. So this really marks a new day, a new era in the Chargers organization. They're where they want to be. They've got their new home. Even though the next few years they're going to be playing in a soccer stadium because their actual Los Angeles stadium hasn't been built yet. You've brought in a new head coach in Anthony Lynn to guide you as you adjust to life in Los Angeles. You've got hopefully key players returning from injury like Keenan Allen and Jason Verrett. You're hoping, if you're the Chargers, that playing in a different location, finally having that cloud off of the organization, knowing you're in LA, hoping to get some key players back. You've got a new head coach who really does a good job with rushing offense. You've got a franchise borderline Hall of Fame quarterback in Phillip Rivers who's still got some life in his arm. You're hoping, if you're the Chargers, you're hoping if you're a Chargers fan, that they've got something here, and at least you're going to see some improvement in 2017. Well, I have to say, they've had some bad omens already. Like, it's almost like this Chargers organization can't help but be snake bit by the injury bug. You look at the 2017 NFL draft. They took Mike Williams, number 7 overall, which to me was a big reach, but I understood the pick. I got it. But he's got a back injury, and he's out indefinitely. He didn't get put on the physically unable to perform list, but most likely he's going to miss quite a few games to start the season. So the guy you were looking at potentially coming in, making a big impact at the receiver position, potentially developing into your number 1 guy, isn't able to practice, isn't able to play right now. Not a good way to start off the season in a new city like Los Angeles. Then your second round pick, Forrest Lamp, who you've envisioned being somebody that could help you day one on the offensive line where you so desperately, badly needed help, he tore his damn ACL during the preseason, and now he's out for the freaking year. So your second round pick, who was a first round talent as an offensive lineman, who was going to be a day one starter, out for the year. Your potential big play, number 1 type, a physical profile, wide receiver Mike Williams, who knows if, when, and how much he's going to play this year. And you look at this team, and you look at their strengths. Like I said, they've still got Phillip Rivers. And he is what he is. He is a really, really good, to me, borderline elite NFL starting quarterback. And it's been a criminal shame what's happened over the past few years with this Chargers organization, with the pathetic surrounding cast that they've put around him. Offensively, defensively, it's just a shame. Quarterbacks like Phillip Rivers don't come around all the time. They don't grow on trees. So when you get them, you'd like to not waste so many years of their career, especially at the tail end of it. And that's what they're doing right now. But at least you could say on a good day, because you have Phillip Rivers, you have the chance to be in a lot of games and win a lot of games. Doesn't mean you do. Doesn't mean you can. It means there is a chance. There is a potential of a possibility. Defensively, they're a pretty good team against the run, and with their switch to the 4-3, I envision them being even better against the run in 2017. I like what they have on the outside in terms of their edge rushers. Joey Bosa now shifting to a 4-3. I expect to see better, even more consistent play out of him in his second year, even with teams game planning now more so to stop him. Now you've got him as his hand down, left end, base end in a 4-3. Now we should see what Joey Bosa should truly be able to be or not. And then on the flip side of that, you've got Melvin Ingram, who's an explosive threat off the edge as well. You've got a couple of defensive ends that could cause some problems for opposing quarterbacks. So you've got a good foundation of some things on your front 4 defensively. You're pretty good at stopping the run, which again I envision being a little better at when the switch to the 4-3, and you can get after the quarterback on the outside. Now with that said, defensively, I'm not sold on their linebackers. I'm not sure their secondary is great. Offensively, Melvin Gordon had a much better year in year 2. but they still struggled at times to consistently move the ball on the ground, to consistently stick with the run. And I do envision Anthony Lynn being a big boon to that, which could help make a big difference for this team. But ultimately, we could talk about strengths and weaknesses all we want. The number one goal of the program for the Chargers in 2017 has to be new city, new result. You've got to be able to stay healthy. I don't know what you can necessarily do to do that. Sometimes it's just dumb luck. Sometimes it's just the talent can't stay healthy, whatever the case might be. If they lose so many key players again in 2017, it's not going to matter because this roster is not good enough, is not deep enough to overcome key significant losses. And imagine if Rivers missed any time. Oh my God. But even if he doesn't, if a Melvin Gordon goes down for several games, if this guy or that guy, or it pretty much seems like on the Chargers, both sides, of the ball, just about everybody goes down with injury. They've got to be able to find a way to stay healthy. Like, that's the number one X factor for the team as a whole. It's the number one question cloud that's hanging over the Chargers organization. Can you stay healthy or not? Defensively as a team, I think they get better, not even with a major significant upgrade in personnel, just with the switch to the 4-3. Now, you could say Ingram's better suited for a 3-4 than a 4-3, perhaps, but you're going to be playing him at right end. You're going to be primarily tasking him with getting to the quarterback. I don't think it'll be that big of an adjustment. I do think playing out of a base is going to be very beneficial to Joey Bosa, and just the talent that they have overall always I felt like might fit better with a 4-3. So now the personnel that you have better fits the scheme, in my opinion, that you are going to run. So that could lead to some improvement out of this Chargers defensive unit this season. Now, when it comes to their schedule, I look at the first half of the season because that determines how this season is going to go. You've got 4 games on the road, 4 games at home, 4 games within your division. So there's a chance for the Chargers to hopefully get off to some type of decent start and hang in the mix. The challenge is their schedule early on isn't easy. Now, they go to Denver week number 1. So you start off with a road game against a divisional opponent. That's a dicey, risky proposition right there. Now, granted, they come back to LA, I believe, for 3 straight games against Miami and then Kansas City and against Philadelphia. But none of those games are gimmies. And who knows how this team is going to play in that soccer stadium? Who knows how this team is going to play in a new market in Los Angeles? That's such a massive variable, too. Is this team going to respond and step up to the challenge and play in the bright lights of the bigger city of Los Angeles? Or are some of their hearts, like Phillip Rivers, still in San Diego, and is this going to be an adjustment year? It shouldn't be that big of a deal because you didn't even change states, but we're talking about human beings, man. And all types of personal crap can affect guys when it shouldn't. But that is a tough 3-game stretch right there against 3 teams with playoff aspirations in 2017. Miami, Kansas City, and Philadelphia. Granted, you've got them at home, but we don't even know what, if any, home field advantage you have right now. That's a massive variable. Then you go to New York. Then you come back to the West Coast the next week after that to play the Oakland Raiders. Then you host Denver, and then you go all the way back over to New England. This is a really dicey first half of the season for the Chargers. And if they could find a way to beat Denver once, and then find a way to win 3 of the other 6 games that aren't Denver, if they could start off 4-4, that's a really good start for this Chargers team. Honestly, if they start 3-5, I don't think they're completely out of it. I think the Chargers are going to be a little better. Again, stating that hopefully for their sake they stay healthy. I don't know that they are a playoff team yet, but I actually like them a little bit more on paper all around than I do the Denver Broncos, which I thought was crazy, but the more I think about it, the more I don't think it is. I've got the Chargers finishing 8-8 and 3rd in the AFC West, which isn't good enough, but it is at least better when this organization has been the past couple of years, and it is an at least adequate start to playing in your new home in Los Angeles.